Hey, welcome back to another Deck Tech video. Once in a while on this channel, we do pay tribute to our partners in crime over with Pauper EDH, because you have to. You have to pay respect to Pauper EDH. In my opinion, in this humble person's opinion, Pauper should be pushed more because there's so many new players in Paper Commander, and they're priced out of the game. And so what happens is they bitch and whine and moan and cry about the power creep and the level of power with legacy staples that just, I think they're kind of inaccessible at this point. And so I feel there should be more of a push for Pauper EDH, and even for like maybe a paper historic brawl, or maybe a variant like a uh, modern brawl. But anyway, we're going to feature today Cormela, Glamour Thief, Grixis, Pauper Commander, which I feel has kind of like the most simple, streamlined combos available in this format. And so let's read her really quick. She's a legendary vampire rogue, right? So she's a vampire. So we could do vampire tribal like Evelyn, right? I'm just kidding.
By the way, Evelyn is not a vampire tribal deck, guys. She's an abused infinite ETBs for the win, but definitely not vampire. Fucking vampire tribal.
So for haste, thank God uh, uh, Cormela has haste. If Cormela didn't have haste, this is a virtually unplayable card. So you pay one, and you can tap her to add Grixis. You can only spend that to cast instants and sorceries. Very cut and dry. Okay, don't overthink it. I read Reddit comments. They fucking overthink it. Reading the card explains the card. You can only spend that Grixis to cast instants and sorceries. So when Cormela dies, you can return up to uno instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to the hand. She's like Kess, but terrible, right? Yeah, she is. She's like Kess, but terrible. Um, I don't, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the mental gymnastics. Please spare me. But this is fine because she's an uncommon, and so she is a powerhouse, a combo powerhouse in Pauper EDH. I think she is tier one deck without a doubt. Right? Who was tier one 20 years ago in Pauper? Tadiova blows Tadiova out of the water. Right. So what you need is some sort of busted instant and sorcery that you could just cast and cast and cast and cast and cast right when she dies. A sack outlet, preferably a sack outlet that will allow you to net the one mana you'll need to pay for her ability. Right. So we need some sort of reanimation spell. Okay. A cheaply costed reanimation spell to bring back Cormela and then get it back. Cast it, get her back. Blah 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 blah. A sacrifice outlet that nets at least one mana for Cormela's cost, and then with essentially infinite-ish supply. It depends on how you do this combo. Infinite supply of Grixis, some sort of a payoff. Some sort of payoff. Okay, let's get into the deck. So, a disclaimer: I play a lot of Pauper EDH, but I play it as a means to flex on certain pods, or to bring to a lower power level pods, much low power level. Okay, I read a lot of lists, and it's just kind of like incomprehensible nonsense. So I like Pauper EDH because you could see how a deck synergizes with itself and just with a low average CMC could perform really, really well and not be clunky. So with that said, there's two cards in here, like every one of my Pauper EDH videos, that are in this deck, and then the cards that can be substituted with it. So starting out, we have now this is not a bling build. My Pauper collection operates way outside of my main core collection, and I'm not gonna bling out Pauper dudes. So we have a Cormela, and then we have both hearts. You gotta have both hearts. Both hearts. Both hearts. Both those. Check. 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 Okay. Gotta have both hearts. Now, in this format, Ristic Study and Mystic Remore are both banned in Pauper EDH. That's fine, because like I said, I play Pauper decks in a standard EDH card pool. So the cards that you could replace these two with, if you're playing strictly Pauper EDH, is of course like a Witness Protection and an Oubliette. Oubliette is a phenomenal card. The cost is a little too high, but ever since this errata makes it functionally a different card. So the ability to phase out like a pesky commander, pesky general, is great. They can't put it back in their command zone. Okay, so let's get into the main combo here. We have cards like Demonic Gifts. A 1 and a black instant. Until the end of the turn, target creature gets a +2 whatever, and gains when this creature dies, returns to the battlefield under its own control. So Demonic Gifts reanimates your Cormela. There are other cards like Demonic Gifts, but those cards make the creature ETB tapped. We don't want that. So Demonic Gifts, probably a mistake to have printed such a card, given that it's just a different version of cards that already exist. Demonic Gifts will allow the Cormel to come in untapped. If you have the 1, you float the Grixis, rinse, wash, repeat, and sack. Rinse, wash, repeat. So you have Demonic Gifts as an option to reanimate Cormela. Ending Zoom for 1 and a black. Each player puts a creature card from their graveyard. So now you're spending from that infinite Grixis that you're floating. You're spending black mana. Okay, and maybe the blue. So that means your payoff, right? You could see is going to be like some sort of a janky X red spell. So these are two important combo pieces for the deck. Our sacrifice outlets will be Ashnod's Altar. Don't forget, boys and girls, every card in here has been printed at a common rarity at some point in its life. So Ashnod's Altar, you will sack the Cormela, of course, and you'll float your 2. 1 is suffice to pay for her ability. So you're going to be infinitely floating a colorless. I don't think there's much you could do with that. You have a Thermopod, a really highly costed sack outlet. I can't say if it pays snow, whatever. But if you sacrifice a creature, sacrifice a creature to float a red. Now this red can be spent on anything. This can be spent on anything. This is not added to your infinite Grixis on instants and sorceries mana pool. So try to keep the two separate, right? Don't mix this red with your infinite Grixis red. Not the same thing. A couple of sinks in the deck. We have a Whisper of the Muse, just to draw the deck and get a better outlet. Of course, with a buyback. You have probably the most important, well, not the most important, there's clunky Pauper deck, so there's a couple of janky sinks and loops. But we have a Rolling Thunder. It's an X spell, sorcery, so you'll be able to use your infinite floating Grixis mana for this, no problem, no questions asked. Rolling Thunder deals X damage divided among target creatures and our players. Very simple. Impact Tremors, it's a fine card. You keep it on board, and then do your Cormela Exhume loop. So every time Cormela or whoever ETBs, everyone's going to get pew-pewed for 1. Very simple. You have a Firebrand Archer, which leads me to the next part of the video. We have a little bit of a Curiosity control engine in this deck. Of course, Curiosity, I think is like an uncommon or some shit. But we have Ophidian Eye and Tandem Look. We'll check it out. We have Firebrand Archer. So if you're going to continuously use your Exhume or Demonic Gifts, this is a pew pew pew. If you connect the other half of the piece, you're going to be drawing cards, as we'll see in just a minute. So we have all the Firebrand Archers, like a Kessig, Flame Breather, Hot Breath. What does this one do? I don't run Curiosity Control for a long time. I don't know any of these new cards. What is this? Kessing. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, 1 damage to each opponent when you ever cast a non-creature. You have a Thermo Alchemist, a little bit on the slow side. I think it was downshifted at some point to a common. Of course, if you check the link below, there'll be the Moxfield list. I think the Moxfield list, when you select the Pauper ADH format, it will automatically add the common variant of the card to your list. But yeah, a little bit on the slow side. Doesn't have haste, but of course, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get to untap the Alchemist, which is great. So you tap to ping, and then you'll untap when you do a loop. If you throw a Tandem Lookout or an Ophidian Eye on any of those dudes, then you have yourself a little draw engine, which is important. So Ophidian Eye, you train a creature. Whenever a creature deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. So that ping, 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 easy peasy. Okay. Do they do it to each opponent? Yeah, so that's draw 3. That's a draw 3. That's a draw 3, which makes the engine very worth the investment. And then Tandem Lookout, as long as the Lookout's paired with another creature, it's the same shit. Yeah, you draw a card. A Nightscape Familiar, whatever, makes my blue and red spells cheaper to cost, whatever. Then we get into our counters package. Starting us off with soft counters. We have a red Elemental Blast and a Pyroblast, of course. Spell Pierce Reno, Dispel, Deprive, Memory Lapse, Negate, Counter Spell, Daze. I have Daze in this deck because this is a combo deck that goes fast, 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 burr, burr, burr. And so I could get away with I could get away with the Daze, getting some value. If I'm running a slower deck with a really clunky combo in Pauper EDH, I probably wouldn't run Daze. And then, of course, a Will of Format, a foil. We have some spot removal. We have a Lightning Bolt, Shockerino. Don't make me. What? We have a Shockerino. Okay, no, that's not appropriate. This is not appropriate. Okay, we have a Frostbite, some janky card that deals 2 to target creature. If you control 3 or more snow permanents, it deals 3 instead. So the mana base is snow, a lot of snow, and so maybe the Frostbite could get some value. Same thing with the Scrud. So I always say, if you're running a deck with more than one basic, more than one of the same basic, then you might as well make those basics snow. And reasons like this are why I make that argument. Snapback, Snap, Snuff Out. Breath Weapon. This is red cards, bro. Grab a mint. Resculpt. Feed the Swarm. And that's that. Our rituals, we have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual. Some of these cards I didn't even realize. So people, I look at a lot of lists, and I just feel like maybe their grasp on the Magic library, the cards within the library of Magic the Gathering, um, they don't have enough knowledge, right? Because some of these lists are like really not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. You could find you could look on the internet, scour the internet, and find out for yourself. Anyway, for rituals, we have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, a Call in the Week, Rite of Flame. Now, these are different colored sleeves because these belong to my main collection. I had to like pick these up. I forgot about Infernal Plunge and Seething Song. I forgot that there were commons. And then a Syrian Spirit Guide for a little bit of Ramperino. And then the best of the rest. Our draw package. We have a Brainstorm, Preordain, Ponder, Git Probe, Street Wraith, Impulse, Night's Whisper, Treasure Cruise, Faithless Looting, Careful Study, Frantic Search, Tolarian Winds. I really, really like Tolarian Winds. I like it in Pauper because what happens is you get a lot of hands of just fucking junk. Junk you're not going to miss. So you can just throw it all away and you get a brand new hand with a Tolarian Winds. I tried it in regular CEDH and even like my powered down decks. Not quite the same. Not quite the same effect, but in Pauper for sure, you're going to get a lot of hands of just caca. And if you could just throw it all away, it makes Tolarian Winds worth it, in my opinion. Our tutors. You have Dizzy Spell, tutor for 1. Muddle the Mixer, tutor for 2. And sometimes they do other things. A Dimir Infiltrator. Shred Memory. Perplex, Drift of Phantasms, and then a Brain Spoil. Brain Spoils are very important because it helps get your dirtily stupid, what's his name, Thermopod, which is a 5 CMC. Our rocks and eggs, we have a Lotus Petal, Thought Vessel, Mind Stone, is it Signet, Dimir Signet, Rakdos Signet, Felwar Stone, Arcane Signet. Our lands package. Now, here's what really annoys me. Some of these other lists, their lands package have like 2-color lands, and it's like, for what? For what, dude? For what? You really want to play that much more slow than your opponents? Everything in here is like one, like a pip, right? And it's like either red or blue. Black is pretty much the weakest color in this deck, except for the combo piece, of course. So I really don't like the mana bases in some of the lists. So this is why net decking isn't always the greatest. Net decking is kind of like, could be the worst sometimes. But I like my mana base. Very simple, no bullshit. I have all the fetches that are available. We have the Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Ash Barrens, Esper Panorama, Jund Panorama, Grixis Panorama, Riveteer's Overlook, Maestro's Fiator, Obscura Storefront. We have 10 snow-covered islands, 5 snow-covered swamps, and 5 snow-covered mountains, and the command tower. That's it. You don't need. I don't think you need the duels. I don't need there's no real reason to run duels. There's nothing in this deck that's like black, black, blue, blue. You know what I mean? The only time I can see this screwing me up is maybe with some of the Demir black, blue transmute cards. Maybe, but I don't. I've goldfished this many times. I'm not. I have not been cucked by my mana base yet. So you don't need the ETB tap duels. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. But there you have it. Cormela, the glamour thief. I haven't thought about her outside of a pauper. I'm sure there are other cards that make it worth doing this combo, right? Or like I said, maybe you're on a budget, right? So this is simple pauper deck, and then slowly you can add like you could bring it into like a regular EDH pod, right? You can add like a Phyrexian altar, or some sort of sack outlet that nets you a mana, and does the combo, you know. And it's as simple as that. Oh, notable exclusion: no merchant scroll. There isn't a ghostly flicker combo in here, so there's no need for me to desperately tutor up some sort of blue instant. I don't need it. The only blue instant of relevance is maybe like a Tolarian Winds or a foil or something. Yep. And there you have it. Check out Pauper. Check out Pauper EDH. Tell your friends about it. Build a deck. Goodbye. Ta-ta.